Good afternoon. I'm a bit skew with of an angle today. I could fix it, but I can't be bothered. I'm mentally slightly exhausted. I've just spent the last couple hours with my head in a task and I've stopped. So, this is actually a form of relaxation for me. Um, so today is the last day before the wall comes down. Uh, they've had their lockdown 2.0 in England, and this is about as close as well. We'll see, I suppose. But this is our equivalent, I suppose, in Glasgow and other central belt areas. Tomorrow we're going to tier four, and I wasn't desperate to go into town and get my last fix, having been in yesterday. But I went to have a last wee coffee in a place with my pal. So, and actually, I thought of another thing to look for in town, which was a Bialetti coffee pot, a larger one than I have, so that I'm not just making coffee all day while I'm in the flat. But it turns out they're £40, so I didn't get that. And while I was in town, I thought, no harm in popping into my favourite shop. So I got something cheap and cheerful, which I already have, and I delay not to um, build up any tension because it's in the title. But just because I'm taking off the sticker, I mean, I'll tell you how much it was. £2. It's very cheap. Final Fantasy X. So I already have a copy of this, but it's pretty scuffed up. It is the copy I first bought, I think. Yeah, I am pretty darn sure of that. I'll check when I go back, but I would recognise it. This is like lovely, perfect condition, which is, I mean, it's a bit strange. Games that I've had for that long, I care less about the condition of them because the the um, the one I own is the one that I've had since the beginning. So that does have a certain value, obviously. So, but this was, I mean, I suppose I couldn't help myself really. Well, no, that's not even true. But it was £2 for God's sake, and um, I think these days I care more about. I don't know. I mean, the the copy I used to have. I don't know. That wasn't enough of a reason to not spend £2 on something that is in such good condition and also has the bonus DVD disc, which I don't have in my copy. Um, nice. I didn't realize it was a soundtrack disc. So I mean, supposedly, the own Final Fantasy DVD. So I don't know. Will I watch it? It seems silly not to. God, it really is in such good nick. And yet, £2. It made me wonder. These games. How long would it take for something like this to gain value? Maybe it would never. I mean, would never gain value. I suppose everything becomes scarce eventually. You would think, oh wow, now this is interesting. I didn't know this was in here actually. Look at that. Is that up the right way? No, it's not. It's upside down, isn't it? Electronics Boutique. Now, I think this is probably better known in the States. I feel like maybe Electronics Boutique still exists in the States. We had them years ago, and then they were bought over by Game, and then Game bought Game Station. So they totally. I think Game was bought by HMV. And HMV is gone, but Game is still around. And I don't know where Virgin Megastores come into all that. They're gone as well. Game is the last one standing. Could you imagine? They'll probably go as well because it's all going online. CEX will reign victorious over the whatever all the stuff in boxes. So this is interesting. I can just read the faded print. It's probably impossible. I don't know what lighting conditions would make this easier to film. There you can see right through it. Well, I can just barely read some bits. EB Stores Group Ltd, I think. Glasgow. Oh, what's that say? It's in Glasgow. Oh, that's so hard to read. It's so weird. Strath something. Is that a name of an old shopping centre? What else did they buy? Cash tendered. Oh, how much was it? £30. Is this interesting? I wonder. Probably not. It's interesting for me. You're just eavesdropping. Oh, they got £10 off. For a moment I thought it said Fanta, and it does. It says Final Fanta. No, Final Fantasy. The S is faded. No, it does. It says Final Fanta X. P. $39.99. And they got a tenner off. Good for them. Right, that's good. I love that. It's like that. I think the most viewed video on my channel is actually that one of the very earliest ones, which is a Vladimir Nabokov novel that I picked up, which had someone's like shopping list in it. I would like to. I would like to do some more books, because I do buy books, but I suppose I have less of a notion about what's. I was gonna say what's collectible, but the thing is, not everything I buy in terms of games is collectible in terms of value. It's collectible only insofar as it can be made part of a collection, which is, how do you define that? And the books are the same, I suppose. They're my collection. It's my library. But some are more interesting than others. I can think of a few off the bat. I've got I want to say I have a first English edition of Pleasures and Regrets, Proust, sort of short stories, short pieces, anthology, I suppose you call it. Not really an anthology, collection. But that might be rubbish. I know I bought my friend a first English edition of a Nabokov novel, which was really nice, and I like the idea of some of the knowledge I have with games, I suppose, would really be more satisfying to have it with books. No, I mean, that's not true, but I don't know. What I get out of games is in a way more interesting, because it's more it's almost more friction between what I get out of games and the games themselves. I'm investing, I think, a lot of attention into getting depth out of them, putting depth into it, which is not to give myself so much credit. It's just that, I think it's a point about defining art. It's the common sense approach is to talk about the artwork itself, but it's got to be about the audience as well, and that's, I suppose, a kind of contextual definition of art. You know, it's to do with the artistic community or society, but you can talk about it on an individual basis. You know, is this a serious work? Well, do I take it seriously? And that's what I mean when I say what I get out of games is something that is a subject itself that I reflect on with interest. And what I get out of books is less interesting because I suppose it's more obvious. Because of the stuff I read, it's like, well, of course you would. It's not a surprise that I consider, that I give that weight, that I get what I expect to get out of reading the books I read. Right, that'll maybe do. That was a nice little break for me, anyway. I'm gonna do some dishes.